I just am so glad to be here. I think the reason Donna called me today is she's been hearing about something that is happening that is really changing my life, and I really appreciate that she's given me the chance to share it with you all today. I'm in the middle of it, quite frankly. I'm leaving and flying to Montgomery, Alabama tonight because I feel like we're a part of something big that's going on. But if you'll just let me tell a little bit about the personal story of this, because it makes no sense. I first worked in marketing, then I really am passionate about sustainability. I am someone in life that I think thinks about following passions and wanting to connect that to what I believe in. And live in New York City. My husband came home from a trip. He's also an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur mother. And he came home from a trip where he had been down south, and he said, Sarah, about 8 years ago, I want you to come and look at this picture. And I came over and I looked at this picture. It's a beautiful Google Earth picture of this spectacular street. There's this fountain and these columns, and then it's like these stunning buildings, but they're like falling apart, decrepit. And he said, where do you think that is? And I said, I don't know, Eastern Europe somewhere. It looks like it's this gorgeous place from a time gone by. And he said, that's Montgomery, Alabama. And then he said, do you see that fountain? I said, yeah. He goes, that fountain is the fountain where they basically sold the slaves. I said, oh my gosh. He said, and that fountain is also the fountain where the people that marched from Selma to Montgomery slept and nourished one another before they walked from that fountain the last steps to this building, which is the capital of Alabama, the Freedom March. And I said, wow. He said, do you see that over there? That's Martin Luther King's church. And you see right over there next to the fountain, that's where Rosa Parks got on her bus. And I said, I can't believe that. I can't believe that street in America looks like this. We have Six Flags, we have Disney World, I love those places. I said, but this is our story of America. We asked the community where to start, and they said, the Crest Building on Dexter Avenue is really important because the Crest Building is the only building that connected Dexter Avenue, which was historically the white marketplace, with Monroe Street, which was historically the center for African-American entrepreneurship and enterprise. It was Harlem on steroids. And we thought, well, let's try to create a platform that will ignite a new downtown for the kind of town we'd want now. So we think that's easy. Then we decide we're going to get our kids in the mix, and we go, and it was the 50th anniversary of the Freedom March a few years ago. And we went down, and we had our building plan, and we said, all right, kids, we're going to go into the building. It was before we had renovated it. And we were going with our flashlights, and we're going through in the dark. And our then 8-year-old son says, Dad, come over here. What is this? And on our flashlights, in marble, 2 words, white, colored. And he said, Dad, I don't know what that means. Can you explain that to me? And at that moment, I thought, wow, this is just not all about building. This is so much bigger. And the journey since has been layered and intense and one of the most transformative experiences in my life. What do you do when you're faced with that? Do you take that out of a building? Do you leave it in? So what we decided to do was ask the community. Start talking to one another about Kress, what do we want it to be? What could it be? And what should we do with this vestige, this proof of Jim Crow segregation? That has been amazing too, because the people who I have met who have guided the way, we ended up having multiple community meetings, and it was decided you cannot remove those from this building because it's proof that this happened. And we need to start facing together what our collective history is so that we can acknowledge and see one another and move forward together. So when Kress opened, it was a year ago, April 12th, and we opened Kress on Dexter on Holocaust Remembrance Day. And my husband, our family is Jewish, who said, he said, let these stones, in Jewish faith, on Holocaust Remembrance Day, they say, So'om Mo'il. May this remembrance teach us something. And it is in that spirit that we had a ceremony, and with the community and their voices, we unveiled these stones. We could not open this building without acknowledging that. That was an amazing moment that I will never forget in our family's life. And actually, the words were said that Dr. Martin Luther King said, with this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. That's what I want. That's what I believe. And I know with other people we can get there together. But what's happened since in this year is a crazy miracle. We created this space for people to start connecting and talking. And I started meeting all of these amazing people. We ended up meeting this guy named Wade, who was a barista. He was a theology dropout. He's like, you know what? I want to start making coffee. He starts brewing coffee. Now everyone, it's like that Friends, you know, they used to have the drip, I'm dating myself, but everybody started going to the coffee shop. And now new people who never knew one another that were on all sides of Montgomery are meeting one another, and they're talking, and they're saying, I want to create something better for this street. New people who have bigger ideas are connecting and speaking. It is about this. It is about this conversation, and it's happening there. Suffice to say now, Prevail, the name of his coffee shop, Prevail, because together we will prevail. If we focus on building, being nimble and quick about how to do it, and we honor and we listen to one another, and if we know, we should say, why not? And we should try. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.